Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm so glad to have you again on this platform. Today, I want to share with you a very terrible experience which I went through as a teenager that caused me to attempt suicide. Before I continue, if you are new here, you are very welcome. And if you are regular here, I really appreciate your presence. Do not forget to subscribe so you can always receive my latest videos. The topic again is why I attempted suicide when I was a teenager. Yeah, before I really get into the story, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My mom died when I was just about 11 years old in grade 5. My mom died leaving 5 children, including me. So 6 together. 2 younger ones, 2 older ones, 3 older ones, and then me. And I am the only girl. My mom was the last of my parents to die. So my mom was everything that we have, everything that was left. She did everything to provide for us, to take care of us, sending us to school, and doing whatever she could do until the fateful day she died. Yeah, when my mom died, my elder brother, who was already working and who was already married, decided to take me and my younger brothers, 2 younger brothers, to live with him so we can continue our education. It was a very great idea. We moved in with him, and the beginning was like very good. We started well, we started school, but when we began school, things started to get bad. Things were getting bad. My brother was working, but his wife wasn't working. So she often stayed at home. So all the house chores were done by me and my younger brothers. Well, my brother's wife also had a sister who was living with her. We lived together as children, but we were not treated the same because she favored her younger sister and she treated us in a different way. I worked from morning to evening. I was a student, a pupil, going to the primary school at that time. But what I did or what I could do was more than what a child of my age could do. Because I would get up every day, I had to wash the children's napkins, clean the floor, did the dishes. Sometimes we needed to fetch water before going to school. And the distance from our home to school was very far. We had to go like that every day to school. Sometimes we get home and food was not ready. We had to join in the kitchen to cook. We continued like that on daily basis, but things were rather getting worse. She had these friends, and each time these friends come to our home and they left, things will become worse, which means that she also had some friends who were giving her some bad education about us. So in her opinion, she actually didn't want us to stay there. Because in her opinion, we were making her husband to spend her money on us, to spend his money on us. So the treatment every day became worse. Because each day, she will make us to work even more than before. But we will eat less food. Every day was the same thing. Things were getting worse. She treated us very badly. She insulted us, and she could call us all kinds of names. And I must tell you that most of these things happened when the husband was at work. Sometimes the husband, the man is a soldier, and sometimes they spend like 1 month or even 2 months out of their homes. And we will be receiving that treatment. Sometimes bullies, beatings, and so on, accusations. She would even accuse us of taking food from her pot in her absence because we were given that restriction. We don't need to touch anything without her giving us. Things like food, anything that is kept at home, we don't need to touch without her permission. And so we had to obey those rules. Even after obeying the rules, we will still be accused. And all these things kept happening, but I could not tell my brother about them because I didn't want to bring any friction between them. But it continued. The situation got worse and worse every day. And, the more we stayed, and she was having children, and the children were increasing, that's how the work also increased. I worked every day like I can't imagine. And every day I was going to school very late until it got to the notice of the school that I was coming late to school every day. And they would call me up to ask me questions. Why do I come late to school every day? I told them that there are certain things that I have to do at home every day before I come to school, and the distance going to school was very far. So, but the school didn't have anything to do. They only had to tell me, to tell my parents, to let me come to school early. But I told them I was just living with relatives, not my parents. The situation continued like that every day. And even when I went to secondary school, it became worse. Because every day, the woman kept saying that we have to leave her home because her husband is spending on us. And when her children will grow, the resources will be limited. So, but the man saw the treatment, the ill treatment, and he could not bear it. He only tried to, talking to the wife about it, but things never got better. Because each time he leaves and goes to work, things will become worse. The worst part of it is that She would always give complaints to the husband about us, and they were negative complaints. And when she gave the complaints, the husband too would not go to really find out to know whether that was true. The husband sometimes will beat us wrongly or will blame us. And sometimes even in the husband's absence, she will also beat us up, beating us very seriously. I could not stay and watch my two brothers, as they grew thinner and thinner every day. It pains me so much that my two little ones were growing thinner and thinner every day, but I could not speak. I was worried. I was so disturbed. I was troubled. I was dying inside of stress because I had no one to talk to. I wasn't allowed to visit even neighbors or to visit my own friends. I had some classmates, at least, with whom I cooperated at school, but I wasn't allowed to visit them. Neither were they allowed to visit us, because each time any one of them get to our home, she was driven. I stayed, and every time I went to school, my head, oh gosh, I was just thinking. I was just so worried. There was no way I could tell anyone. I needed someone to talk to. I needed to confide in someone. I needed advice from somebody, but there was no one to talk to. This lady would even accuse us of stealing meat from the pot. And she would tell the husband that this is the quantity of meat that she kept, but we have removed it and only this number is left. Can you imagine? And sometimes the man will just get mad at it and ask, but why did you have to do this? He wouldn't give us the chance to speak. Those are the kind of things that drove me crazy, because we were just orphans. We were not thieves. We could not remove anything. We could not take anything from the pot without her telling us to do so. Because we already knew the house, we already knew the atmosphere, we knew how things were moving. And so we couldn't do that. Things continue until sometimes she would say those kind of bad words that could just make me like to just kill myself or to just leave that house. But I had nowhere else to go, because that was our first brother, and he was the only one working at that time. He was the only one who could support us at that time. I had nowhere to go. I had no one to talk to. I had to stay. There came a day that this lady beat me up when I used the pot to boil something to eat. She came, took it, threw it on the ground, and she insulted me and said, I have no right in that home, and that my mom is dead. If I like, I can die to meet her, after beating me up. That day, I became so mad at this that I couldn't bear it anymore. I cried and cried and cried, but I calmed down. The next time, she accused me wrongly. And at that time, I couldn't bear it anymore. I said, I have supported it too much. I can't cope again. And when She accused me. The sister knew that I didn't do what she accused me of. And when she wanted to say something, she halted her down and she could not speak. I got so mad and I just went. I told the sister that I was going to die. I couldn't live again to see all these things. I just rushed and I picked a substance which was not eatable, was poisonous, and I drank it. While I was drinking, the sister knew that it wasn't something good. She struggled to seize it from my hands, but I drank everything. I said I wanted to die because I wanted to die and meet my mom. Her sister has always told me to die and meet my mom. So I want to die so I can meet my mom, so I'll not hear these things again. Unfortunately, when I drank that, I became so weak. And the sister had to rush to tell her that that's what has happened. She said, what? She drank it? Is that true? Okay. If she wants to die, let her die. That's what she said. And I stayed there the whole day. I was so weak. I lied down on the floor and I was so weak. I lied there. The husband wasn't there. It was only the next day that the husband came back. And in the evening, I started coming back. My body was coming back. But I couldn't eat anything. I was so weak. Until the next day, when the husband arrived, he rushed me to the hospital. And the husband cried because he never knew. That was why, when he asked me and I told him everything that has been happening, and the man was just like dying. He asked me, why did you not say these things? I said, no, I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to put you and your wife into trouble. So, and because you had always come, and when you hear any complaint, you don't even ask, you just blame us. So I couldn't come again to tell you this. That's why I wanted to die. But the man was so mad at me why I had to do this. Yeah. I'm not so proud talking about this. Because I know I might have been wrong. I was just about 14 when this happened in the middle school. I might have been wrong by attempting suicide. But I am sharing this story today because I know that out there are a lot of people who are going through the same kind of problem I went through. I want to give you more courage and to say that, please, never ever try to take away your life, because it is God who made you, and He made you for a purpose that you have to accomplish. It was the will of God that I shouldn't die. If not, I could have been in my grave today. Today, I am a mother. I am a wife. I feel so bad about what I did, but I am so grateful to God for having saved me. So I want to use this opportunity because I sympathize with a lot of children who have no parents and with those who are out there suffering. I want to sympathize with them and to encourage them that they should stay and bear, because what they are going through is going to make them stronger. I actually passed through a lot, but I believe that what I passed through made me stronger today. So please, haven't listened to the story, do not blame me for all this. I was just a teenager, and I was going through the pains of losing my mom. So adding to all these things, it was too much for me to bear. So I thought the best way was just to take away my life and also to give peace to those who did not want me around. So please, if you are living with any child out there, do not treat them that way. Always give children a voice to speak. It was an accumulation of things in my heart that pushed me into doing that because I didn't have a voice to speak. I had no one to speak to. I hope someone can learn from this story and learn something that will be helpful, be useful to them as they go through their own struggles. Thank you for watching, and please do not forget to leave your comments, and please do not insult me for this. I deeply regret what happened, but I was just a teenager. Thank you for watching.